Continuing down our settings, we come to calendars. When you click on that, it will open up this. You can see I only have one calendar in here. You most likely have several calendars because I loaded a snapshot with different calendar options in there for you. You can go ahead and delete the ones that you're not going to use so that you don't get confused in the future. When you need a different duration, you need a different calendar. So if I had a 60-minute duration appointment, I would have to have a separate calendar here and call it something else other than website discovery call. So you could have as many calendars as you need, but just for future, I would delete anything that you're not using. So when you come over here, we've got a few options. First of all, there's the blue Create a Calendar. So you can go ahead and create a brand new one if you would like, which I will walk you through to do that in just a moment. On the active calendar, we have an edit. So click that and you'll see what your settings are and you can edit them from there. You can share your calendar. You can troubleshoot your calendar. And then from here, you can delete or you can duplicate. So if most of your settings are the same, it's just a time difference, you can go ahead and duplicate this calendar and then just set your duration to a different time. So let's go ahead and just create a new calendar. You got different types, and these are basically snapshots that they copy some settings in there. So I'm just going to choose one right now as a service booking. And right here, you can name your calendar, and that's what's going to show up in all of the little drop downs that you may have where you select calendars. Here you can select a staff member for that. So I'm going to just go ahead and name this networking. And the staff member is just myself. But if you had set up a staff member in there and you want this calendar to be for them, you would certainly choose. Here's a custom URL. Here's your duration. So let's just do this at 15 minutes. And your availability you can set. This is pulling the defaults that we set in our profile for availability. So I don't work Sundays or Saturdays. And I really don't want to take networking appointments on a Friday. Because you know what? During the summer, I don't work Fridays either. And I don't start at 8 a.m. for appointments. I start at 9. And I don't go till 5. I'll set that till 4. And this is not something that I would be accepting payments for. But if you want to set up calendar appointments for services that you're selling, you can go ahead and do the accept payments right here. And under advanced settings, slug is required, so I'm just going to put in here, networking. This slug is already taken. PW for premium websites. And we can upload our logo. Now, I'm not actually going to use this calendar, so I'm not going to do these things. You can put in a description, and the description shows when someone's on the page where they're setting the appointment. You can add it to a group if that's relevant to you. Here is pulling in a contact name, again, from different fields of somebody registering and filling out a form. Select the team members that we would assign this to. So if I wanted my development team to have access to this for whatever reason, I would have them in here as well. My location is automatically set to Zoom. And here is the color that it's going to pull in onto my Google Calendar. So I'm currently using orange already, and I have this kind of bluish purple color in use already. So I would want to choose something different. So that way you can visually see on your Google Calendar what it is. And you can do different locations for this Zoom or for this meeting. Custom meeting location. So if you're using Teams or Google Meet or something like that, that would integrate in here as well. Drop over here to availability. It pulls in what we had already set. We can do a look busy if we want, so we can hide the number of available slots in a day. Duration is 15 minutes. If I want to have a time buffer before and after, this is where we have this. So the post buffer time I could set to 30 minutes, which means whenever someone sets a 15-minute appointment, it gives me 30 minutes after that appointment before anybody else can set another appointment. It's a great way to manage your calendar and not get overwhelmed. Minimum scheduling notice. So what this means is on my real calendar, I have that set to 1 day. What that means is that no one today can schedule an appointment for me later this day or early tomorrow. It needs to have 1 whole day of time before, from when they schedule to when it shows up on my calendar. So I'm not getting the beginning of the day, someone coming in, scheduling an appointment later in the day. No surprise appointments. That's what that's for. The forms and payment. So we've got forms here. So the default form is first name, last name, email, phone number. You can create a custom form to say anything you want, collect any information you want. You can see here, I've got several to choose from. So I'm just going to pick one for now. And you've got your date time selector and then your form. And this is how it displays on the page that this calendar will be sitting on. And you can either have a default thank you and then put whatever you want in this box, or you can redirect it to a URL and have anything you want on that page. If you're tracking through Facebook Pixels for some reason, you can put the ID in here. I have auto-confirm new appointments, which means the system automatically confirms it. If you turn this off, you will get an email saying somebody wants an appointment. You have to come in here and confirm it, which means there could be a delay from them getting accepted appointment emails, but it gives you more control over how many appointments you have per day. However, I just deal with that with the buffer time and the ability to not have someone schedule on the same day. So I have this set to auto confirm. And again, I'm not accepting payments through here. You can turn this on and go ahead and have a payment form. Notifications. These are where you would set, and again, you just click the edit and it will allow you to edit this. So set up how you want to be notified, where you want to be, email, in-app, etc. And then allow Google Outlook Calendar to send invitations and updates if you want that. Just turn that on. Assign contacts to the respective service staff members each time the appointment is booked. If that's important to you, you would turn that on. You can allow them to reschedule from the emails that they get and the reminders that they get, or you can turn that off and not allow a rescheduling. And it's the same for canceling. And then anything you want to put in here, this is basically what it's going to say. Phone number, it's pulling in their phone number, pulling in their email, and all of this is set. So the standard, you can leave it or you can modify it however you want. Customizations has to do a lot with colors, and you can upload an image right here. Again, it tells you the maximum dimensions and the size. You can set your colors and choose what shows on the page that they see when they're setting the appointment. So if you don't want the calendar description, you would just simply turn that off here, or you just don't put in a description. So when you're all done, you just click save, and it's going to tell me that because I didn't fill out enough information, it's not going to save. So that's your cue that you've missed something. But this is a calendar I don't want to save. So we'll see here that it is here. It is active. It's not totally filled out, and I really don't want it. So I'm just going to delete that calendar right there. So that is calendars. There's a lot in there. So in our next video, we're going to go over the default email services.